Hi everyone, so today we're going to be going through a 2020 Senate map in 2020, so this would be between Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell, two of the most unpopular senators in the country. So we'll be going through this, starting from the west, moving into the east for the safe states, and then going through some of those battleground states. So just before we begin, this I see could go two ways in the Senate. One way is that many of these somewhat vulnerable Republicans in North Carolina, in Kentucky, in Montana, in Texas, in Georgia, in other states like that. One scenario is that they hold on narrowly. In Alaska, one scenario is they hold on. The other scenario is that there's this catastrophic blue wave, that there's a massive blue wave that wipes out the Republicans, and those states could narrowly go to the Democrats. But I don't see, let's say, Montana going to the Democrats, but then Kentucky not, because I think they're kind of on the same playing field in terms of competitiveness. So we'll go through the safe states. Oregon, safe for the Democrats. New Mexico, it's an open seat now, but there's a very senior member of the House who just announced he was running for that New Mexico Senate seat. I see New Mexico moving into the safe Democratic column. Illinois with Dick Durbin, I see that in the safe Democratic column. Durbin, not one of the most popular senators, but in this polarized climate, in a state like Illinois where it's so in favor of the Democrats, I see the Democrats winning in the state of Illinois. Delaware, I see with Chris Coons. I believe it's Chris Coons who's up this round, or that might have been last round. I don't know, either Chris Coons or the other senator from Delaware. New Jersey with Cory Booker. I see Cory Booker winning. In New Jersey, Rhode Island with Jack Reed. Massachusetts with Ed Markey. And the state of New Hampshire, I'm not going to put into the safe Democratic column right now. So 42 seats safe in the Democratic column. Now for the Republicans, Idaho, I see in the safe Republican column. Wyoming, I see in the safe Republican column. South Dakota moves into the safe Republican column. I believe it's Mike Rounds in South Dakota. In Nebraska with Ben Sass. In Kansas, I'm not going to move that into the safe Republican column. Sorry about that. But in Oklahoma, I see that one moving into the safe Republican column. Even though it's an open seat, I believe the Republican incumbent is not running. I still see that one moving into the safe Republican column. The state of Arkansas with Tom Cotton, with Tom Cotton. The state of Louisiana, I see that one moving into the Republican column. Kentucky moves into the Republican column, but I'm going to come back to that. Tennessee, even though it's an open seat, we saw in Tennessee, Democrats fell well short with former popular Governor Phil Bredesen and Marsha Blackburn toppled Phil Bredesen in Tennessee, gave him a blowout election. I see Tennessee moving into the Republican column. In West Virginia, if someone like a Richard Ojeda runs, I see that one getting pretty competitive and pretty heated. But even then, I still see that one moving narrowly into the Republican column. But if it's any other Democrat, I see that one moving into the Republican column. So 40 Republicans, 42 Democrats. Let's take a look at where we are right now. So Democrats, they can bank, in addition to these safe seats, on a few other likely seats in the state of Minnesota, in the state of Virginia, in New Hampshire, and I was going to put Michigan in, but there's been some polling coming out recently in Michigan that shows a very contested race. If who was it who ran in 2018 against Debbie Stabenow? You know who I mean, but that person, if they were to run again for the Senate, that would be a competitive race against Democratic incumbent Senator Gary Peters. So I'm going to move that into the leaning Democratic column. for right now. So that puts us at 46 Democrats, and that puts us at 40 Republicans. As for Republicans, they're probably going to win Alaska. I mean, let's be honest. In Montana, again, if the former governor runs, it could get interesting, but at this point, I see the state of Montana moving into the GOP column. Texas, if O'Rourke runs, maybe, but even then I still see the Republican incumbent hanging on. Kansas, I see the Republicans winning narrowly in the state of Kansas. 44 Republicans, 46 Democrats. Furthermore, I see Republican incumbents winning in Mississippi with Hyde Smith, in South Carolina with, who is it, Lindsey Graham, and that's pretty much it. So 46 Democrats, 46 Republicans. Where can Democrats win? So they've been concentrating their efforts recently in the Southwest, and I see them winning in Arizona and Colorado. Arizona moves into the leaning Democratic column. Colorado moves into the likely Democratic column. That puts the Democrats at 48 seats. So these two signifying the first two flips of a seat in 2020. In the state of Iowa, with Trump's approval rating going down the drain, I see Democrats narrowly edging out the GOP in the state of Iowa. But I think it's too much to win in the state of Kentucky with Mitch McConnell. I think it's too hard for Democrats to win with Doug Jones in Alabama. He's the Democratic incumbent. You remember he won a hotly contested special election back in 2017. So 49 Democrats, 48 Republicans. In order for either party to win, they need to get 2 out of the remaining 3 seats of Georgia, North Carolina, and Maine. So firstly, let's get this out of the way. Susan Collins is probably going to win in Maine. I mean, even though her approval rating was sliding, it has since come back up. I see Susan Collins winning in the state of Maine. So, in order for the Republicans to win outright, they need North Carolina and they need Georgia. In order for Democrats to win, they also need North Carolina and Georgia. For it to be a 50-50 tie, they need one of each. Now, in Georgia, if Stacey Abrams does decide to run, I see her easily winning the Democratic primary, and I see it being very close against Republican incumbent David Perdue in the general. And I actually think she has a 52-53% chance of winning against Perdue. But Stacey Abrams might not run for the Senate seat, and if it's any other Democrat, I see the Republican incumbent Perdue holding on narrowly in the state of Georgia. And in the state of North Carolina with Tom Tillis, I actually see this one narrowly moving towards the Democrats, because I just have a feeling that Tillis is too conservative for North Carolina. I see North Carolina moving narrowly into the Democratic column. But keep in mind, if Abrams runs in Georgia, or if Democrats fumble their chances in North Carolina, then everything could switch. And those two southern states are going to be key for Democrats taking back the Senate in 2020. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Comment down your suggestions below, and I'll see you all in the next one.